What's up guys, how's it going? It's always me, Francesco. Welcome back on our YouTube channel. This will be the first episode of a new format that we like to call an Italian wine journey. And of course we're going to make a small journey through all the different regions of Italy, and we're going to speak about, of course, their culture, their their wines, their winemaking approach, and their viticulture approach also. Today it will be, of course, the episode which will be entirely dedicated to Valle D'aosta. So we choose Valle D'aosta as first region, and we're going to speak about their approach in terms of winemaking and viticulture, and of course about their wines, and of course the peculiarity of the Valle D'Aosta territory. So let's dive into it. So we're going to start talking about a region that belongs to the north of Italy. So we decided to start, of course, with the north of Italy, then we will pass to the central part, and then finally we will arrive to the south of Italy. So the Valle d'Aosta is the smallest region of the entire Italy. It's bordering in the northern part with Switzerland, in the western part with France, and in the southern part with Piedmont. So even the culture is a little bit like a mix between France and Italy. It's a little bit like a blend between French culture and Italian culture, and this is also very important also when it comes about winemaking and viticulture approach. So as I told you, Valle d'Aosta is a very tiny, small region. It is about 3,000 square kilometers, about 9,000 square miles. The valley was formed by Doria Baltea River that is running from west to east, surrounded by the highest mountains of the entire Europe, which we have one that stands out, which is Mont Blanc, 4,950 meters above the level of the sea. We have a very huge diversity of climates due to the fact that we have a very impressive changing in terms of altitude. So we can have something like 4,000 meters of difference. If you compare the lowest part of the valley, the bottom of the valley, with the highest peak. In this region, usually it's intensively cold during the winter, and this is a part of Italy that has a lot of problem during springtime when it comes about frost. Although anyway, during summertime you can also find very high temperatures, so this is so important because you have this climate that can vary quite a lot. The orographic side of the Central Valley is called Envers and is exposed to the north, and it characterized by the presence of forest, when actually the orographic left side of the Central Valley is called Adret, is exposed to south and is cultivated with mainly vineyards and orchards. Vineyards are mainly composed of granite in the area of Morges, and in Arna, Sangiovese and Duna, they have a very low thickness of the soil, which often expose the mother rock. Vineyard area of Valle d'Aosta is 400 hectares, of which 60% is located in a mountain area, 35% in a hills area, and just 5% on a flat land. We should also say that when it comes about appellation of origin for wine in Valle d'Aosta, we have just one DOC. So Valle d'Aosta is a very small area planted with vines. We already said that, which 60% in a mountainous area, the rest is of course in the hills, just 5% is on a flat land. The cultivation of vines is mainly located along the 80 kilometers of Doria Baltea River, as we said later in the beginning of this video. We have this very important river in Valle d'Aosta, and usually, as it often happens in mountainous areas, the cultivation of vine is arranged on terrace supported by stone walls, which form small plots of land that are mostly supported by the roots of the vines themselves. So that's the idea of their viticulture approach. On this very steep terrace, since the form of pruning or automated harvesting are excluded from the beginning because it's impossible, the traditional forms of cultivation prevail or the more modern ones. So we have pergola and alberello technique. In particular, we can say that the alberello technique is perfect. Alberello technique is usually the best choice that you can make when it comes about very difficult areas from the climatic point of view. Usually with the alberello technique you force the plant growing like a small tree, growing like a small bonsai, and being smaller the plants will save a lot of energy. And also, as you can see in the picture, the vines are not connected one with the others, and in this way we can have a better sun penetration. The sun can penetrate and basically you will have sun 360 degrees all around the vines. The sun is just like hugging the vines. That's the beauty of alberello technique, I would say. So, the presence of vine in Valle D'aosta dates back to the Bronze Age, as witnessed by the discovery of grape seeds dating back to the time. However, it was the Romans that started to cultivate the vineyards in this area and in general to spread the knowledge about winemaking all over the northern part of Italy. Vine and wine had an important role in Valle D'aosta even during the Middle Age. And during the following eras as well, we can say until the plague of 17th century, due probably to the frequent transit of troops and the consequent destruction of agricultural lands. During the Napoleonic era and during the course of the 19th century, the area planted with vines reached its maximum extension, about 3,000 hectares. From the end of 19th century up until the middle of the last centuries, there was anyway a downsizing due to phylloxera and oidium. During the 50s, there was the establishment of the École pratique d'agriculture, which became later, in 1982, the Institut Agricole Régional, which had the opportunity to spread new cultivation, agriculture and viticulture technique, directing viticultural production toward the research of wine quality rather than just productivity. That was a massive change for the winemaking and wine production in Valle D'aosta. During the 70s were born the first cooperative of wineries, which still play a very important role in the processing of grape and in the spreading of Val D'aostano wine by increasing the appreciation of the market with an increase in demand, which in turn favor the creation of new companies as well as the growth of the existing one, stimulating the development, of course, of the viticulture. Today in Valle D'aosta there are 6 cooperatives and about 40 private wineries, many of them organized in Producers Association. Vine cultivated in Valle D'aosta are almost all autochthonous, also because these varieties have a high vitality even at the high altitudes where almost all the vineyards of the region are located and where other variety of grapes would not survive or will not be productive. Among dark grape varieties, red grape varieties cultivated in Valle D'aosta, there are Petit Rouge, Premetta and Fumine. Among white one, there is Brie Blanquet, the grape variety that could be grown even at very high altitude. Actually, in Morges, the vineyards of Brie Blanc are located at 1,200 meters above the level of the sea, which is incredible. In the picture that you are seeing now, there are also other variety of grape that are of course easy to find in Valle D'aosta. The ones I mentioned before are just the most famous. We should also say that in lower areas with less extreme climate you can find also Nebbiolo, Fresia and Moscato Bianco. which are usually a little bit more delicate and that cannot survive, of course, at this very high altitude. And of course, usually those kind of varieties are cultivated in a lower area with less extreme climate. So when it comes about appellation of origin for wine in Valle D'aosta, because of the small size of the region, they are just concentrated in one, Val D'aosta DOC. However, the wine production of Valle D'aosta has a remarkable variety and complexity, witnessed by the 7 sub-regions of the appellation that you can see in the picture. We have Arnan Montjovet, Blanc de Morchet et de la Sarre, Champmevet, Donat, and Ferdovgueux, New Torrette. Those kind of appellations are all characterized from an amazing pedoclimatic point of view and an amazing expression of the terroir. So Valle D'aosta, it's some kind of region that you should absolutely try. This is something I think about all the Italian regions, because everywhere you go you can find something unique and very peculiar.